Good day everyone, I am Joyce Avaluya from Bachelor of Secondary Education 2. For today's video, I'm going to discuss about The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. About the author. Anne Frank is the author of Diary of a Young Girl. Her real name is Anneliese Marie Anne Frank, was born on June 12, 1929. He died in February to March 1945. She was a German-born Jewish girl who wrote while in hiding with her family and four friends in Amsterdam during the German occupation of the Netherlands in World War II. Her family had moved to Amsterdam after these Nazis gained power in Germany but were trapped when the Nazi occupation extended into Netherlands. As persecution against the Jewish population increased, the family went into hiding in July 1942 in hiding rooms in her father Otto Frank's office building. After 2 years in hiding, the group was betrayed and transported to the concentration camp system where Anne died of typhus in Bergen-Belsen within days of her sisters. Margot Frank, her father Otto, the only survivor of the group, returned to Amsterdam after the war ended to find that her diary had been saved. Convinced that it was a unique record, he took action to have it published in English under the name The Diary of a Young Girl. Anne Frank's honesty, frankness, and sincerity of description of her parents, friends, and teachers make her writing the most important of the Holocaust period. History of the story. From the Diary of Anne Frank. An excerpt from Diary of a Young Girl, or Diary of Anne Frank, is an autobiography of a young girl named Anne Frank who wrote her thoughts in her diary. It was first published in 1947. In this, Anne expresses her thoughts in a diary which was kept to her 13th birthday and chronicles the events of her life from 12 June 1942 until its final entry of August 1, 1944. It was eventually translated from its original Dutch into many languages and became one of the world's most widely read books. There have also been several films, television, and theatrical productions, and even an opera based on the diary described as the work of the mature and insightful mind. The diary provides an intimate examination of daily life under Nazi occupation. Anne Frank has become one of the most renowned and discussed of the Holocaust victims. She named the diary Kitty, which she considered as her only true friend. She mentions about her childhood, her family, and a lot other things that she told no one else. The main points of the story. 1. Anne Frank's parents gave her a diary on her 13th birthday. 2. Writing a diary is a strange experience for Anne Frank. 3. She writes only to lighten the burden of her heart. 4. She feels that paper has more patience than paper. 5. She wants to keep a diary as she does not have a friend. 6. She wants the diary to her true friend and she is going to call his friend Kitty. 7. She got her education in Amsterdam. 8. She started writing her diary on 20 June 1942. 9. She feels that a quarter of students are worthless and deserve to be kicked out. 10. The math teacher, Mr. Kissing, is an old-fashioned teacher. 11. He's annoyed with Anne as she talks too much in the class. 12. He gives her extra homework to write an essay on a chatterbox. 13. She writes that she has inherited the habit of talking from her mother. 14. Mr. Kissing has a good look at her arguments and gives to write another essay on incurable chatterbox. 15. Mr. Kissing was trying to play a joke on Anne by giving such an essay. 16. She finished the essay in verse with the help of her friend's help. 17. Mr. Kissing reads the poem and the message in the right way. 18. After that, she allows Anne to talk in the class. 19. Since then, a chance comes in Mr. Kissing and the talks make jokes. This is the story. The Diary of a Young Girl chronicles the coming of age of a sensitive and highly talented Jewish teenager named Anne Frank. At the time, she made her first entries into her now famous diary. She was pampered and immature former American First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. In her introduction to the book's first edition in English, comments on the diary's remarkable veracity, noting that a writer as a young Frank could be counted on to write truthfully. Summary: From the Diary of Anne Frank is an autobiography of a young Jewish girl who wrote her thoughts in a diary. At first, she felt it was an unusual experience for her to pen down all her thoughts in pen and paper. She believed that no one in the near future would be interested to read about a young girl's past experiences from her diary. However, she still decided to write her thoughts in her diary and name it Katie. She considered her diary to be her true and loyal friend as she was lonely and had no friends to talk to. Anne felt that her diary had more capacity to absorb thoughts than people with low patience level. Further, she mentioned how much she loved her family, especially her adorable father who gave the diary of her 13th birthday on 20 June 1942 and stated how her entire class was nervous about their exam results. Although she was confident about other subjects, she was not quite sure about mathematics. She and her friend Jill pleaded the students to calm down and not make noise, but all in vain. She felt that about a quarter of the class were dummies that should be kept back in the class as they did not participate in other activities. Besides, Anne also mentioned how the math teachers, Mr. Kissing, was annoyed with her talkative nature. He would often punish her with extra homework whenever she talked more during his class. In the first punishment, he asked her to write an essay on a chatterbox, which in itself was a weird topic for Anne. She gave a good thought about the topic and decided to present convincing arguments in her essay, justifying her points in support of talking. She mentioned that she would try to improve herself, but she could not do anything about the trait that she inherited from her mother. When her teacher read the essay, he found it amusing and assigned her a second essay, an incorrigible chatterbox, for her unreformable talkative nature. However, during the third lesson, Mr. Kissing had read enough for her justification and assigned her another topic entitled Quack, 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 said Mistress Chatterbox. As a punishment for her incorrigible habit, Anne almost ran out of thoughts after writing essay on similar topic previously. This time, she took the help of her friend, San, who was good at poetry and wrote the essay from beginning to end in satirical verse. When her teacher read the essay, he took it lightly and thoroughly enjoyed it. Since then, Anne was allowed to talk in the class and was never assigned any extra homework by Mr. Kissing.